I finally got to see some very important Ghost Recon Breakpoint features in action, like the loot drops, how these new RPG elements impact the gameplay, and just some activities that we can expect in the final game. During the Ubisoft E3 2019 press conference, they just announced that we will get a beta starting September 5th to September 8th, and you get access by pre-ordering the game, but I would not be surprised if they did an open beta like the weekend after that, because we usually see that with Ubisoft games. So you will likely have a chance to play the game before it launches, if the previous Ubisoft titles are any indication. Let's get back into the video though, because there's a ton to discuss that is very interesting. Would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support, and let's go. I'm by the way doing a giveaway for the Ghost Recon Breakpoint Ultimate Edition of the game that comes with a number of goodies and also early access, and I'm actually doing a separate giveaway for an E3 2019 game of your choice as well that can also be Ghost Recon, and this giveaway will be like over next week already, so you have 2 chances to win Ghost Recon Breakpoint. I will have a link to both giveaways in the pinned comment. Be sure you are subscribed to the channel before you enter, and when you win I will reach out and you can select the game that you want, so pick Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Now let's get into the E3 demo, because I got a few loot drops in Breakpoint while playing this game at E3 2019. They come in different rarities. I saw grey, that was like the worst, then green, then blue, and the strongest I saw was purple. Not sure if there's anything higher than purple, but you already saw purple drops kind of left and right, so I would think that there's likely like orange or something. I will totally ask that in an interview with the developers when I get the chance. You can get loot drops from enemies, you can get them out of specific chests, but also from completing missions in the world. And when you pick up the item, you will see if it's better in terms of your gear score. I sadly can't show you the inventory menu from my recorded gameplay, but I can note what you will see there, because there's a big number that will indicate your gear score based on the 3 weapons, so 2 primaries and 1 handgun, and also the 5 gear pieces that you have equipped at that time. I'm not sure what the impact of the gear score is though on your character. We'll totally ask that in an interview as well, but the items do have an impact in terms of stats and perks. So all the items that are green and above have a perk. From the looks of it, green items have 1 perk, and then blue and purple weapons have 2 perks, although purple gear has better versions of these perks. An example is ammo pickup. For example, I had one on a blue item that was a 15% ammo pickup, while the ammo pickup on my purple light machine gun was 30%. I also found mobility on an item, 10 on a blue item, and plus 20 mobility on a purple item. And other perks you can find on weapons and gear pieces are increased accuracy, reload speed, health regen, so that you get your health back faster, that you can carry more ammo, and also for example that you deal more damage to vehicles. But that's really the only damage enhancement perk I saw. Overall these perks just seem to add some nice bonuses like more ammo and mobility. It's different for your gear pieces though. Those items also have perks like I mentioned, although it's different where green and blue items seem to have 1 perk and purple gear pieces have 2 better perks. Now but apart from these perks, gear pieces also can increase your 4 attributes. We got attack, defense, stealth, and stamina. So yes, the stamina is needed to run, so you have to watch that bar that appears when you sprint. You cannot endlessly sprint. Stealth is nice, so the distance and delay at which enemies detect you is increased. Defense reduces the damage taken from all sources, and attack increases the damage dealt with any weapon. It's hard to say if the impact will be that significant though. I think it will just be a small boost for one of these attributes. You can choose to be balanced as well. What I saw for example was that some items had 5 points in 3 attributes, while another item had 15 points in 1 attribute and none in the others. At the beginning of my play session I had 0 attack, while at the end I had 30, but even with 0 attack all the humanoid enemies without helmets died from 1 bullet, and I never really had issues fighting other human enemies, even if I did not aim in the head. So the gameplay still felt true to what Ghost Recon is. a military tactical shooter, of course. I only felt that the extra attack and likely defense will be nice for the drones or heavily armored enemies. Like Breakpoint has these new heavy enemies that have a minigun and big armor and also wear a helmet, so shooting in the head will totally be the key to take them out, but you need more bullets because first you destroy the helmet and then you can aim for the head. If you don't do this, then they will be very hard to take out. But when playing with friends, you can easily try and sync shot them and I'll shoot the head of this heavy enemy at the same time and take him out without any trouble. You should be able to do a sync shot as well when playing alone because you can call these drones. I wasn't able to try that in the demo though, but on paper that should be a way to take out these heavily armored enemies with one go as well. Now the extra damage and defense will be really handy against the drones that have health bars or the big behemoth tanks that we could also kill in this E3 demo. These were like big boss battles that Ubisoft notes are really for high-end players. Not sure why these big tanks are just chilling here in this arena waiting for an opponent. Like, I kind of missed the reason behind that, but either way it was a pretty big fight and running around dodging the incoming bullets was really needed. Explosives are key here to deal damage to this tank drone that also has a health bar. You got a rocket launcher that everyone can use by selecting it in their inventory, but you also have grenades and the special EMP grenades that will stun the drone, so you get a nice opening to all shoot on its weak spots or got enough time to shoot your rocket launcher. So yes, for these machine enemies, having the extra damage will totally help, but it also kind of makes sense that they can take more bullets and require explosives to take out. But yeah, communicating with your team is also key here, because it can be hard to switch to a rocket launcher and prepare that shot after you just threw an EMP grenade. So having one person throw that stun grenade while the others shoot the rockets is really important. So that is nice group gameplay, but it kind of makes me worried about the solo portion of this game, because as you might know, there are no AI teammates this time around. At least not at launch. They announced during the E3 press conference that the AI teammates will be coming post-launch, although we don't have a time frame yet. So I'm not sure if it will be possible to take on these tanks when you are playing alone. And you want to take them out because they were good for some nice purple drops, so for one of the best items in the game. So that will also be something to ask the developers, how are they going to make sure that a solo player can do all the content. I do feel though that we should not really worry about the impact that the RPG elements will have on this game. Sure, the enemies have levels, but apart from the perks, I feel that the stats have not really a big impact, and you can easily be successful if you just smartly coordinate with your team. Like, from as far as I've seen, these perks and the attributes are just nice extras, but it's still really about the skill. Like, here we took over a wolf camp, and the wolves are of course these high skilled enemies. They were ghosts just like you and are hunting you in the open world. They have camps too with some drones. And here we did a sync shot on this smaller but still powerful tank, taking it out without it being able to do anything back. So I totally got the idea that skilled play is way more rewarding than the gear that you are wearing. Humanoid enemies, again with zero attack, will drop pretty fast and from one headshot, and you die pretty fast as well. And then also the new injury system kicks in, and while this can easily be an annoying feature, I actually liked the extra management of your soldier. You can only get injured when you take a ton of damage fast after each other, or when you like drop down a high place that you're obviously not supposed to. So then you are forced to turn back and find a safe spot to rest up. So you got your health bars, and the current one that you are in is only able to reveal. And if you want to get the others back, then you have to use a syringe that you can easily select from the item wheel and use while moving as well. So that's just another cool and little thing that you have to watch to keep your soldier alive. Fixing up your injuries takes more time though. One injury will make sure that you are still able to move but a little bit slower, and it only takes one bandage to heal. The animation is very long though, so you really have to find a place to rest and get yourself back on your feet. If you have a more critical injury, then the animation takes even longer and you use 2 bandages instead of 1. I really like this system, and it totally adds another layer of depth without feeling annoying. Good to note though is that when you die while still being injured and then spawn on your teammate, then you still have to use a bandage to heal yourself up. You did not lose your injury. I really enjoyed my new taste of Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It's really more an in-depth version of Wildlands with way more enemy variety and elements to worry about and more rewarding gameplay thanks to the gear and other loot that you can get. And by the way, the loot also impacts your look. So every gear item gives you an alternative look. I hope there will be a way to separate your look from the stats though, so that you can look the way you want and still maintain the best stats. So what we also saw in Wildlands. And also I'm kind of sad to note that the gear I found during my play session was really not that exciting at all. Like sure, we need that military stuff, but I want to see more variety. Highlights were some nice pants with some camouflage and the 2 headgear that I got, a regular beanie, but also a pretty cool helmet. But again, it's not really that exciting stuff, while the outfits in Wildlands were way cooler. So I hope to see the same level of customization in Breakpoint as well. Subscribe for way more on Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This is just the first video of my E3 2019 coverage. I got way more coming your way. Also going in depth on the classes. I was able to play 3 out of the 4 of them. The other one was not available sadly. But yeah, more in-depth analysis of the classes coming up. A like on this video would of course be super appreciated. You can check out more Breakpoint E3 videos if they're already up by clicking on the screen. Otherwise you will see some other E3 videos like from Watch Dogs Legion. For now though, I'll speak to you next time. Check out the giveaways in the pinned comment again and goodbye.